I'm Danica Tormohlen reporting from Cvent Connect, and I'm in San Antonio with Mario Bass, the new president and CEO of Visit San Antonio. Hi.
Excited. Hi, how are you?
Excellent. I'm
Good.
excited to be in your city
We're excited to have you along with
Yeah.
Cvent Connect.
with a few thousand.
Close to 4,000, more than 3,000, shy of 4,000. We were expecting anticipated attendance about 3,500.
And this is the second year in a row that you've hosted it?
Second year in a row, very fortunate. They were in Vegas for 10 years leading up to choosing San Antonio last year. I wasn't here for it. I was actually in Orlando. I was the chief operating officer with Visit Orlando at the time. So I say all that to say I'm extremely excited to be a part of it this year.
I want to talk a little bit about the fact that you are a San Antonio native with multi-generational roots in this city, right?
Yeah.
So how does that personal connection to the Alamo City
Sure.
influence your vision and strategy for the DMO?
As you mentioned, I grew up here. My family's here. My extended family's here. So it's more than a destination to me, right? It's home. So the way I go about in my day to day, there's actually a lot more personal stake in the grounds, if you will, in selling the destination that I grew up in. There's a certain amount of gravitas to being able to do that. That definitely plays into it. Having grown up here, I really understand the people and the culture. And as attractive of a convention campus as we have, and hopefully you've been experiencing in terms of walkability, what we hear time and again in terms of the rate to return to San Antonio, if you've had a meeting here or you've come on leisure travel, is they might not be able to put their finger on it, but it's a people at the end of the day. And that spirit to serve, which is an underlying current through the entire hospitality industry for the city of San Antonio. So you take all that into consideration, it's easy to sell an authentic destination like San Antonio, especially having grown up in it.
They didn't wait very long. It was like about a month long
About a month,
process, right?
Yeah, it was quick. I was blessed. There was a ton of community support and outreach to the search committee regarding my candidacy. So I think that probably expedited things along the way there. I'm extremely excited by that as well.
If you could describe for somebody who I've been here a couple times for conventions, I enjoyed some personal time as well with a friend and had a great time here. So how would you describe the vibe of when you were talking about the people and when it comes down to it?
We've used a tagline before that says warm heart, authentic culture. And that's really what, from the time you get off the airplane and you get into an Uber or a cab and you get to downtown and you check in, there's that San Antonio understands hospitality, right? We understand our fourth largest industry like here in the city. So we take the art of hospitality seriously at the end of the day. So you'll have that, you'll feel that. It's a desire to serve others. That is just, it's in the DNA of the city. I remember growing up, my mom's Hispanic, I grew up in a Hispanic home. I say that because it was not unusual that nobody would sit down to eat because we were all busy. No, you sit down. No, let me serve you. That's what San Antonio is about at its core. It's this desire to serve and serve those that come and visit us. And I think that's where, again, I think folks that come, whether it's on business or pleasure, go, yeah, there's something different about that place. Yeah.
Okay, so during your previous tenure at Visit San Antonio, you achieved record room night production. What kind of strategies did you use to lead to this kind of success? And how do you plan to build on them now in your new permanent role leading the DMO?
We were coming out of the pandemic, right? So there was a natural lift. People were ready to engage and meet, and we were able to capitalize on that, not just here in San Antonio, but as an industry. We were blessed for that. The goal as we head into, still we have some national headwinds that are in front of us, right? There's all kinds of uncertainty, economic, political, day to day. You open up the newspaper or watch it on your TV, there's some headwinds there. But I say all that, I think the best thing that we can do, and it's a focus of mine, is just get back to the basics. We are a sales and marketing organization, and we do that very well. And the desired state is to ensure that the team, the 85 plus employees of Visit San Antonio, that we spend all our energy and our resources on how do we fill the city with travelers and visitors. And that's what we're focused on. In addition to, right, you find different areas of opportunity of the markets that are maybe doing better than the other. And how do you redeploy towards that? So we're looking at some redeployment changes on the group side. And in addition to, I'm excited, we added, for the first time ever, we added a director of business development whose sole responsibility is going out and finding need date, need time period business that really changes whether or not you get that additional point of occupancy that you would have had otherwise. So we have a couple of those irons in the fire right now.
But you do have very ambitious KPIs according to a report that was
Yeah.
out for 2030. Is that still in place?
That was a part of our Visit San Antonio's 5-year strategic plan, which was built coming out of 23 and certainly in 24. The world's changed. So we're reassessing all those KPIs right now, just based on everything we're seeing in terms of international travel, consumer sentiment right now. Even though we're very cautiously optimistic for a very robust summer, we have more room nights on the books than we had same time last year, almost 60,000, which makes us cautiously optimistic. It's a lot spread out evenly, June, July, August time period. We also are known for our regional drive market, easy to get to San Antonio from Austin, Houston, and Dallas. And we want to make sure that we're capitalizing on that. Hopefully gas prices are down. People want to get in their cars. It seems like that's the consumer sentiment. So we want to capitalize on that as well. But cautiously optimistic because there's just some things that are out of our control. Everything that we talked about earlier, the headwinds and whatnot.
But you're still pacing right now ahead in terms
We
of room
are.
nights. And how
We
about
are.
attendance when you're tracking like the meetings that have been
Yeah.
and visitor
We
numbers? Are you seeing any declines at all?
we are, depending on the segment, that can change. But for the most part, it's not like meetings are just completely not picking up. The attendees are here. People still want this face to face. Thankfully, that's what our business is about. So yeah, things are,
Holding
but
right now. Yeah.
the things that would impact it would be, what's coming out of DC, right? The budget cuts and some of the tariffs and all of that somewhere trickles down into our industry. We're not immune to it. We feel it, but still we're cautiously optimistic.
Thanks for sharing that. You've worked in major markets across New York, Florida, and Texas. What lessons from Orlando and other destinations are you applying to? That's such a pedigree, right? Of
Yeah.
great hospitality destinations and also for our industry conventions and
Mhm.
events. You obviously have a great background in that. So how are you applying some of those to San Antonio's destination marketing strategy?
What I've personally learned every time I moved is how special San Antonio is. Because as soon as I move, I'm in a hurry to get back. It's no secret. And I've moved a couple times to your point, and every single time I come back home. So I think it gives me insight into not only why I come back and revisit San Antonio, but why the attendee does too. And it really is, going back to our earlier conversation, that warm heart, authentic culture that drives the leisure traveler as well as a group traveler. But yeah, with that being said, also, you've got the experiences of those other markets and what worked well in those markets from driving group demand, which were very different. New York, right, was much more leisure, 20% group at the time. And you have Orlando on the flip side of that, that's leisure and group and does it very well. So there's strategies that we glean from working in all those, but at the end of the day, it really goes back to the core mission of bolstering and strengthening the selling and marketing of the destination by simplifying. We're focused on heads and beds right now. During these tumultuous times, heads and beds, whatever we're doing, we're ensuring that it's driving the economic demand to the city of San Antonio.
Tell me a little bit about the local economy. Give our audience some flavor in terms of how it's doing, what areas are growing.
So we're Military City USA, right? So that along with medical, as well as cybersecurity. We're actually the cybersecurity capital of Texas because of all the infrastructure that we have here and the personnel. So you have all that robust medical, as I mentioned, and then you have the fourth largest industry, which is tourism, which continues to do quite well. And like I said, we're not immune to any of the things that are happening in the marketplace, but people are still meeting. You see it here at Cvent, right? At the end of the day. So the economy, Texas economy, we're blessed. The Texas economy trickles down into San Antonio is doing quite well.
The hospitality industry contributed 21.5 billion to San Antonio's economy last year.
It's a lot of money.
Right? That's pretty good. How are you working to ensure these economic benefits reach all parts of the city, even your childhood home on the
Yeah,
south
on the south
side?
side of San Antonio.
Yeah.
We're fortunate, right? So the hot tax that we collect along with the sales tax benefits all San Antonians. I forgot what the actual number is, but we can get that in terms of the what every San Antonian benefits from in terms of tax savings. And David, am I correct? It's like $1,400 per household. That's not an accident, right? Where you invest, there's a return on investment. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think for every dollar that we spend as an organization, it provides 33, it's a 33 to 1 return on investment. And that trickles down through the entire city, on top of the fact that it's one of every 8 San Antonians. 150,000 San Antonians are employed by the tourism and hospitality industry. So yeah, that's
Significant.
who we are at the end of the day.
We were talking about this just a second ago. As we navigate the economic uncertainties in the travel industry right now, what do you see as the biggest challenges and opportunities, honestly, for San Antonio in the next 2 to 3 years?
We are blessed as a tourism industry, right? San Antonio has always been known for world-class everything tourism, right? So it's a very steady provider to the economy here in San Antonio, right? You don't have these incredible ups and downs and swings in terms of demand and whatnot. With that being said, as you, I'm sure, have experienced through Cvent, there's a lot of construction that is happening, positive development for our industry and for all of San Antonians, for that matter, through the Alamo reimagination, Hemisphere Park. There's a ton of stuff that's happening. The city and the local developers are investing in the city because it's so strong. With that being said, we're excited for what the future holds because we're now looking at a sports and entertainment complex right in the heart of downtown San Antonio, just outside the convention center, that would bring the San Antonio Spurs back to downtown at another 200,000 square feet of contiguous exhibit space to the existing convention center footprint, as well as a myriad of shops and entertainment. That's a game changer for us. That is being considered at the city level through city leadership right now. But if we do that, I think San Antonio is just, the future's bright. It's only going to be brighter when that happens.
And last question, what's next for you and for Visit San Antonio? What are some of the big events that you have coming up that you're excited about? And then in your job, what are you getting excited about?
Yeah, I'm excited, as I mentioned earlier, to be able to do this role here in San Antonio is amazing. To be able to do this in your own home, right? I don't know if that happens a lot. I think as an industry, we have a propensity, you move around and you go and get your promotion in the next place. So to be able to do this in my own backyard, in my home, is amazing. I actually started my hospitality career here in San Antonio, having grown up here at the front desk of the Marriott River Center Hotel right across the street from the convention center. So I'm excited just about all things hospitality, all things San Antonio. We're obviously hosting Cvent Connect that we're extremely excited about. And then next week, I will be flying out to St. Louis to prepare everybody for the MPI WEC that we'll be hosting in 2026. So we're excited about that on the horizon for us as well. So lots of incredible demand generators that we're looking to capitalize on.
I really appreciate your time today, Mario. And thank you for taking a few minutes to share a little bit about your new job and also about Visit San Antonio.
Thank you, Danica. Excited to be here.
I'm Danica Tormohlen.